What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel, welcome to a new video. In today's video we will be talking about the latest album from Nostalgia Critic.
Yeah, it does say Nostalgia Critic. Nostalgia Critic's The Wall.
Well, here we are, we're talking about Nostalgia Critic's The Wall. This is an album that was released in accordance with a review slash parody movie of the movie The Wall, which was based around the album by Pink Floyd titled The Wall. And a lot of people online seem to, strongly dislike this album. Let's talk about the good things of this album. One, Rob Scallon does a pretty good job of recreating the instrumentation for this album. Even at 15 tracks, this definitely seems like somewhat of a, a musical undertaking for Scallon. It definitely does take a lot of work to kind of recreate an iconic album. The Wall is an album that has its criticisms and it has its critiques. Surely, so does the movie. And Doug did something so bad because he released this album and released a very piss-poor review of Pink Floyd's The Wall, the movie. Don't really know if most people know this, but The Wall wasn't released in accordance with the movie. The movie was released years after The Wall was released. The screenplay was written by a member of the band, and that's really the only member that had a say-so in the entire movie. And surely the music behind the movie The Wall is 100% inspired by the album The Wall. It seems like when Doug, Nostalgia Critic, talks about the movie, I don't know if he knows that they're separate things. Like, the album is not connected with the movie's connected with the album. The album is its own thing, while the movie is, like, intertwined with the album because it's based around the album, kind of like how Mamma Mia is based around ABBA songs. It's ABBA, I know it's ABBA. I don't know why I said ABBA. ABBA songs are not based on the musical is based on ABBA songs. You can't put them in like the same kind of critique. You can't say the movie is bad, so is the music. You could totally say I dislike both the movie and the music, but you can't say since the movie is bad, the music is bad. They're two separate entities. Let's actually talk about the album, Nostalgia Critic's The Wall. Now look, I was going to kind of go into this album review, kind of giving this album a little bit of praise here. Rob Scallon, again, like I said, does a pretty good rendition of older Pink Floyd material and does a really good job at recreating that sound. What ruins any merit that this album has is the fact that Doug exists in this album. I feel like anything he does in the album is bad. You could have easily just done a review of The Wall, the movie. There are criticisms to the movie. That's fine. Talk about them. This would be good if the parody was funny. Your arrogance is clouding your judgment. You're so pretentious you don't even realize this album is bad. Quite frankly, your arguments and criticisms about the movie and the music are so shallow it makes a kiddie pool look deep. And this album is so bad that it makes Corey Feldman's Angelic to the Core look like a masterpiece. People are not laughing at this album, they're laughing at you because you made this piece of shit. This is utter garbage. And I would not want to go out in the world if I made this. I would put a brown paper bag over my head for the rest of my life and sit in my bed and just give up because this is atrocious. This is horrible. This is utter bullshit. This isn't good in any way, shape, or form. In no parallel universe is this good. You have to go above and beyond with making music and making a movie, but you can't even present a good argument for the music or the movie. You spent so much money into making this, you couldn't even focus on the arguments for these two. It's just absolutely horrendous. The album isn't funny. This is a parody, but the humor is non-existent. There are many things that this album has that I could just go on and on about for days. And I will say a couple things. The singing is atrocious. The singing is really bad. This dude has like 3 different types of vocals that he accompanies this album with. There's regular singing, there's like screaming, and then there's this very deep kind of tone that's just... A lot of the lyrics don't make sense. A lot of the jokes are not funny. And you could say, oh, well, comedy is subjective. And yes, I'll say I agree. But when no one's laughing at your jokes, that's usually not a good sign. I have yet to find anyone that enjoys this album. It's like the antithesis of The Wall. It's amazing. It's like everyone loves The Wall and everyone hates this piece of work. Piece of shit. This is garbage. This is utter bullshit. This is terrible. And this is the worst thing that I've had to subject myself to in my life. You just could have went the usual, I'm gonna review this and I'm gonna give it reasons why it's not as great as everyone says it is. Surely, there are probably 1,000,001 reasons why The Wall is overrated or whatnot. You can find them. Find them. Make arguments for them. But don't just say, it's bad because I hate it. Or don't say, it's confusing. Elaborate. Embellish those arguments. Because those are where the jewels lie. You can make money off of that. Like, you are just kind of just sitting here pouting, oh, this album's bad, it's complicated, it doesn't make any sense. This album, it's bad. It's really bad. It's poorly made. And the only thing that's impressive about it is Rob Scallon. That's it. That's it. And even then, Doug ruins it. Oh, and I forgot about one thing. How the hell did you get Corey Taylor on the damn thing? You know, you'd think he'd have the best kind of feature on the album, but when he just sings a rendition of the SpongeBob theme song in a rock style, you really miss the mark a lot. This entire thing is bad. There is no redeeming qualities about it. It is absolute utter shit. The lyrics, the criticisms, the critiques, the entire thing as a whole mixes like oil and water. I would be ashamed if I made this. And you should be ashamed, Doug. This is absolutely abominable. This is absolutely deplorable. Why? That's just the question. Why? Why? You could have just stuck with the route of, I'm going to make a review for this, a YouTube review. I'm going to publish it online, and it's going to have arguments, criticisms, and this, and that, and that. But you're pouting over a movie. You're basically throwing a temper tantrum about something you don't like. You sound like a 12-year-old who didn't get their way. So now they're complaining in a grocery store because they couldn't get the candy they wanted. Well, I hope you like Sour Patch Kids, because you put a sour taste in my mouth. Yeah, that's as bad as the jokes on this album. Those are really the quality jokes that are on this album. And if you laughed at that, well, I don't know, it wasn't really that good of a joke anyway. What are my final thoughts about this album? Well, I will say, I originally thought people were over-exaggerating. For once, the internet did not exaggerate. And they were right about this album. And, sometimes I should listen to the internet, and I don't want to listen to this thing again. This is just atrocious. What's the score? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this album down below. Let me know what albums you want me to review next, and that is it. Nostalgia Critic. Nostalgia Critic's The Wall. Until next time.